Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fate, and you're listening to Attacking the Beats on IllMuzik.com. Another 5 beats, another 5 reviews. And before we get into it, just want to mention that we just had a really good beat this competition. And there were about 22 beats, I think it was. It was supposed to be 20, but for some reason, something happened. I don't know. Next thing you know, there's 22. I don't know how that worked out. But anyway, it was really good. So that was a good turnout. And don't forget, coming up soon in a few days, it's going to be the War Zone. So make sure you're ready for that. So, yeah. But let's get right into it. First up, we got Air, the Superstar with Confidence. Let's check it out. Alright. Okay, so that was Air, the Superstar with Confidence. Alright, so for this one, I'm not going to really mention the actual melody here, the music, okay, the sample that you're using, whatever, because it's good, like it's on point, like I have no complaints about it. That's not the focus of this. The focus is the drums, of course, because it's not on time with the sample, with the rest of the music. That's the only thing, and I don't know if it was you or someone else a while ago, it was something like that, and I recommended then and also now too that the best thing to do if you're having trouble with the drums, because I don't know what you're using, but obviously there's a metronome with whatever program you're using, whatever box you're using, whatever. And if you're not following that, then that's all right. Just do some step sequencing then, and that's one thing that I haven't used that in a long time, the step sequencing, but it's really powerful because it makes sure that everything's on time. So you don't have to worry about playing it out. Maybe you're just trying to play it out yourself. I don't know, but still, you should use like some kind of quantization or something. But if you're not going to do all that, just do some step sequencing, and that will handle all of it. Because at least then you could do your kicks, your snares, your hats, your cymbals, whatever, all your percussion. You can do all that with the steps, and that'll take care of it. It'll be all on time with the samples. That's the only problem I have with the beat. Because the music's nice, I like it. I like what you're doing with it, and it does sound like that's on time. It's just the drums. So just go with the step sequencing. Try that first and match that up with the sample. Send it back in. I'll take a listen to it. Just make sure you let me know, that you're resubmitting here and stuff. And I'll check it out because I want to see how it turns out if you do the step sequencing. So give that a shot first. Don't worry about the music. Just do the drums first. All right? Okay, so next up we've got Andy with When. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Andy with When. All right, this one's interesting because everything's pretty good. I like it. Everything's really good. I like the way the song is structured. I like the way you put everything together. And the drums are on point. The piano's really good. So it sets a nice mood and everything. The only issue I have really is the bass. And the bass pattern's fine or whatever. It's just the bass sound. And it's just interesting because that bass that you're using, it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't really go with the rest of the music, I find. Like it does, but doesn't, because it sounds like the type of bass that, you know, it could definitely be on its own, you know, like that's something, it's almost like a lead instrument, you know what I mean? So I think what you should do is just keep the same pattern, just switch it out though, and get a bass that's a little more muffled, if you will, like more like a sub bass type deal, like not a sub bass, but something that's just more muffled. You know, it could be, there's lots of basses out there, whatever, but the one you're using, it's like a synth bass, and it's I don't know, it's just like I don't know, it just sounds like one, it's like the type that you would use, I think, in a beat where there's not, like, it's very minimal, like there's not a lot of instruments going on or whatever. So you would use this type of bass, you know, let's say you have a rapper on top or something. This way the bass acts as the bass and sort of like a lead, you know, so you just have your bass and drums and something very minimal in the background. That's the type of bass it sounds like. So for what you want to use with this though, I don't know, it just kind of clashes for me. I mean, especially because the piano is so smooth, which is really dope, by the way. And I think that the bass is just it's just not appropriate for this mood of this track. That's the first thing that stood up to me, so that's why I would just focus on the bass and just get something that's you know, just more muffled. You know, if you listen to a sub bass, you know what I mean. Just try it out. I don't know what program you're using, if you're using some kind of plugin or whatever, but check them out. I mean, there's tons out there and stuff. Just not something that has that you know, like that saw synth sound. We don't want that for this type of beat. So give it a shot. All right. Okay, so next up we got Copino. Did I get that wrong again? I don't know. I can't remember these things with I'm Back. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Copino, I guess, with I'm Back. All right, so this one, I like this because, see, this is the type of thing I try to do sometimes where, you know, instead of just doing straight boom bap or trap or whatever, you know, it's good to mix the two together, you know. So in your case, it's kind of like a boom bap beat in a way, but then you bring in like the synths and everything, so it's like a nice little mashup. And you're bringing like your own different type of style, you know. So that's really good. I like that, because at the beginning I heard the synth and I'm like, where are you going with this? You know, I don't know what's happening here. Where are you going to go with this? But then all of a sudden it's like this nice drum track came in. So I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good, you know. So I do like what you did with everything, and then you brought the synth back in later on and all that. So it does sound nice. Drums are on point and everything. My only complaint though is the bass, because you're using the 808, it sounds like, so it's pretty deep though, like when you're using that and stuff, and you know, it fits well with the beat that you have. It's just that I was expecting just like more of a I don't know, I'm not gonna say analog bass or whatever, but let's say analog bass, for example, just something like a nice funky bass line, you know what I mean, like something from like the funk era or something like that type of bass line to go with this, because it's a very bouncy beat. So I'm thinking like a funk bass line to go with this, that'd be beautiful. The way you have it though with the 808, it's okay, but it's just, you know, with an 808, obviously you can't use it all the way through. So like in your case, you're just using it a couple spots, you know, but it's very, very heavy, the 808 and all that stuff. So I would get rid of that. I would really get rid of that and just try a funky bass line. Just try that to go with it. I think that would make a big, big difference. So give that a shot. I want to hear that. So yeah, give it a try. But it's a dope beat though. All right. So next up we got Juwan Fonville with Thriller. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Juwan Fonville with Thriller. All right, so this is a good beat. I mean, I like it, but there's a few things with it, okay? I mean, first of all, it's a long intro, so I was like, what's going on with this thing? But when it came in, I thought you were still going with it like an intro because you had that thumping kick. And then I realized, oh, that's the kick. That's the drum track you're using on this, you know? So I wouldn't use that kick because, you know, it's kind of like one of those kicks they use like for like a sound effect, you know, like a heartbeat type of thing or whatever. So in your case, like with this, I mean, I wouldn't use that. I would just use something that's more of like a, you know, just a regular punchy kick or something, you know, a little bassy, a little punchy, whatever. In this case, like it's just very like thumping, you know, like that's like a heartbeat, you know, that's what it sounds like. So I would just change that out. And then the snare, you don't have to have this big loud smacking snare, not with this style of beat, no, but just something that just sounds more prominent, because the snare you're using, you know, it's very low, you know, like it's very mild in the mix, you know, like it's just very, very subtle. You don't really hear much of it and stuff, you know. I think it should be out there more. And also because, you know, the whole vibe of the beat, it's just very mellow, very chill, you know, very lo-fi stuff. So that's why I think you should bring the snare out a little more, give it a little more life. The hats were great. They sounded really, really good. And the thing is that the hats, they sound nice and clean, whereas the snare, it's like this low, you know, crunchy snare, you know what I mean? It's like it didn't really match up for me or whatever, you know. So I would switch mainly the kick and snare, switch them out, get something that's a little more lively to it. And as far as the music is good. It would be nice if you added like another lead synth on top later on in the beat, you know. That's what I was expecting. Instead, you just had a couple of cutoffs here and there, like little change ups. That's okay and everything. It's just that because of the kick and that snare, like it just kind of sound like this one big long intro of the beat, you know what I mean? So just make a few changes like that. I think that would make a big difference with it and stuff, you know. The melody's good, although like I said, if you added a little synth later on, it would give a little more life to it, because when you just change it up like that, it's okay, but That's only acceptable, as I find, when you have an actual vocal track on top of this. Like if you're making a full song, because the vocals could mask that. You know what I mean? So, but a beat on its own, yeah, you need something else on top just to change it up and to give it a little more life and all that stuff. So, but the main thing is the kick and snare. Swap those out, and you'll see it'll make a big difference. So. All right, so next up we've got Nightmare Beats with Ocean of Sorrow. Let's check it out.
This is a nightmare beat.
All right. Okay, so that was Nightmare Beats with Ocean of Sorrow. All right, this one's interesting because it's very well put together, this beat. I must say, it's very well done. It's a nice mix. Everything has good levels on it and everything. Nice reverb on the snare and all that. I like the way you change things up and everything. The only thing is that the pattern, like the notes that you have playing, like I don't know the notes offhand, right? Like I'm not going to sit there and show you how to play a piano, but it's just, you know, the notes, I'm listening to it, and it just seemed off, you know. Not that it was off, but it's not what I was expecting necessarily, because I know it's like this evil beat, right? So for me, the first note, the first keys at the beginning, okay, fine. The second bar, it's like you went down a note, whereas I was expecting it to go up, you know, like I was expecting that type of mood to the beat, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to explain, but you know what I mean? It's like if you're going up from, like, you know, this set of notes up to the next set of notes and then back down a pitch, you know what I mean? Like, so you're doing it like that, but in your case you're just going down and saying like this like this evil mood, you know. So I know that's what you're going for, but it just didn't sound good to me in a way, you know what I mean? It's like I was expecting like a nicer set, like a nicer pattern of the synth, you know what I mean? Because what you had, like I said, it's just, I don't know, just as soon as you hit that second bar, it just kind of sounded like it was like you're off, you know what I mean? Even though you weren't, but that's just that vibe I had. I was like, I don't know, you know, but I was just expecting that. So if you tried that, you know, because I want to see how that sounds, you know, that's what I was expecting, you know, and I think that's probably what other people would expect. So try that. I mean, if you had a rapper on top of this, then I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, like it'll mask, you know, what you have there. But otherwise, the beat on its own, it's like, yeah, it's good. Like I said, it's very well done, very well put together. It's just that the note pattern you're using, I just think it should be changed up a bit. You know what I mean? Because it's not what I was expecting. You know, it's just like everything's just kind of evil. You know what I mean? It's like give it a little more life to it and stuff. So just try the pattern, just change it up. Give that a shot. You know, I'd like to hear that, how it sounds, especially on that second bar, you know, when you bring it up. So give that a chance, give that a try. So see how it sounds. All right, so oh shit, that's it. Okay, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Faye. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending your beats in. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is the winner is drum roll, please. Copino with "I'm Back." Let's check it out.